afternoon, people, on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. We are starting off today with a nice new American flag. Old one was getting a little torn up. We got to make sure we're representing. All these fine people of the world here need to know that this household supports America. Alrighty, so today we have some good news and some bad news already. What do you want first? Okay, I'll give you the good news. The good news is the first gen runs again. It runs. Bad news, a couple things. As much as I would love to continue to work on that truck, we need to work on the 05 today. We have got to get that thing wrapped up. That is the goal for today. Wrap that thing up. Second bad news is my neck is killing me. Laying on our buddy there, Mr. Topside Creeper, just laying over, all hunched over, man, it really put a strain on my neck. So we're gonna try and take it a little easy today. I get these neck pains from time to time, also from editing. If I'm like looking down on my little computer screen there, tapping away, it ends up hurting my neck. So if I don't slow down today, I'm gonna be like almost paralyzed for the next 2 or 3 days. So we're just gonna take it a little bit easier today. I do have to mow the lawn, which I don't even know if I wanna do today. I'm just being honest, guys. I need to still wash the truck. Look at this thing. I don't even know if you can make it out. There's a big gold poop stain. So we gotta take care of that too. Alrighty guys, and there you have it. Ascending unit set up for extreme duty relief. Make sure she's all cleaned up. Get ready to put it back in the truck. Alright, so like I was mentioning, we are now ready to, I'll probably put the sump in from the bottom first, put the plate down in there and tighten that up, and then I'll get the sending unit back down in there. Alrighty, and there we have the GNR dual fed sump, loosely mounted on there just to make sure we got the right angle, angled back and slightly towards these super sweet air dogs. You can kind of see where we're going to go with the feeds from the back of the pumps down to the sump, kind of right down, streamline like this, get them angled enough that they pull away from the leaf spring, so that's not an issue. And that's about that. All right, sending unit is back in. Just gotta rotate that over. Put the fuel lines back on just like that. Be good to go. Brief intermission from the fuel lines to fire up the Greg A Garage paint booth. Put the first coat of some black high temp paint on the base for the hood stack because the sticker and the silver was just bothering me. So got that taken care of. Now back to your scheduled fuel line installation. Actually, we're gonna pause and take lunch, but you're not gonna see that. Alright guys, back from lunch break. A lot of questions about the transmission cooler. It is a Derail Performance. Here is the part number for it. It's basically the smallest, most compact, number 8 half-inch size cooler that I could find. It's rated for like, I don't know, 60, 70,000 BTUs of cooling, however mathematically blah 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 you want to figure that out. But that was the highest rating, most effective, smallest cooler that I basically could find. I don't know if it's pricey or not. It's a couple $100, so it might be a little bit pricey, but you pay what you get for, basically. So hopefully that answers all your questions on that. Reading some comments about the window tint in the 08. It is not purple. The camera just makes it look purple. Every truck that we go into, for some reason, I don't know what's with the camera, but it makes it look purple. So there you go, 2 questions answered. So what we got going on now is just some good old Vibrant stainless braided hose We're going to unravel that like I mentioned. We're going to start with the sump to the pumps and then go forward from there. Pumps to the CP3s and then run the pump returns back into the filler neck. So there's something that I feel like I need to explain. I will do so pretty cut and dry, just make the lines. I've made another video on how to make AN stainless braided lines, so scroll back, check that out. I have to remove the old lines, remove the old wiring, so we're just going to start knocking that out, guys. The other thing that I probably will do once everything is hooked up, I'm going to test power at each pump and turn them on and flip on a little gauge here on each pump. I'm not going to run two separate fuel pressure gauges. I just don't feel the need to monitor each pump separately. I'm just going to test them before I get everything done permanently. So what I'm going to do to monitor pressure is just run this single port with everything kind of teed together. This serves as a single port to monitor total system pressure, and at the same time, if I do have an issue with one pump, then they are hooked together. That way both CP3s still have at least one pump feeding some low pressure to it. So it's a fail-safe single port to monitor pressure. That's what we're going to be using. It's a little kind of bulky, but as long as both pumps are working, which they should have no issue, pretty much just straight through, and that'll be that. All right, I'm watching you leave. See you, bye. Bye, love you, bye. If you go on my grass one bit, you fail.
Needs to be mowed, Greg.
Yeah, I know. I'll probably read about it in the comment section.
You know, you really downgrade the neighborhood, and I don't appreciate it.
You know, you could do it for me. I'd really appreciate that. Oh. Woohoo! Look at you go! Bye! Okay, now where were we? I don't know who you are, but you're on the channel now. Okay, I don't condone that. It's starting to become a regular thing around here, guys. Alrighty, guys, pretty much got all of the factory wiring out without cutting anything. It's pretty much all here. If you follow me on Instagram, you did notice that I posted this for sale. So it is still for sale. I think I am going to end up probably shipping it. I do have one guy, I believe, that sent me a message that said he would pay for the shipping. Roughly, shipping on that is probably going to be about 40 bucks. So it's 600 plus whatever shipping is. So if you guys are interested, it is a 260 gallon per hour pump, which basically, if you have a stock truck, you're not going to need this. I mean, it's for common rails, anything with a preset pressure of 15 to 20 psi. This will probably work for you just fine. Came off of a 05 Dodge, so anywhere 03 maybe plus Dodge, this will probably fit. But it's really meant for if you have like a twin pump application, aftermarket twin pump application. Like I mentioned, last year I was running a 10 millimeter and a Sportsman Exergy pump on the bottom. This year I'm running two 12 millimeter pumps. So if you're running twin pumps or twin modified pumps, that's what this pump is really made for. It's not really meant, you don't need 260 gallons an hour for, you know, a mostly stock truck. So if you're interested, hit me up. But got the stock fuel lines out. Also, I was using these steel fittings that were into the pump and then going to your anodized aluminum hose ends. Sorry, I'm all over the place. So we're going to actually switch to basically a vibrant aluminum anodized to the hose end. just like that. This actually came out of the pump before it loosened here. This style fitting really uses that tapered end to seat against the hose end. That's what gives you your connection. So these things really don't have to be very tight, but I think I had a little bit of galling possibly kind of locked that one into that one. It'll probably pull out, but we're changing all this stuff anyway, so we're just going to change the fittings on the pumps as well too. So that is where we're at. We can now start running the new wiring and new line. Poor guy can't even fit 2x4s in his minivan. And you wonder why I'm getting nothing done today. Alrighty guys, I figured I'd pick up the camera before I was completely done. Sorry, not a whole lot of action shots here, but you get the idea. First stage was all done, got the sump to the pump, all set, all done, looks good. Basically, stage 2, the pump returns right here and right here. Those are push lock. They loop around, go right back into the filler neck. I did mess with the filler neck quite a bit. Got that how I wanted it. I am fairly confident and positive that the bed is not going to be a problem. I took some measurements and it should be good. So from there, we have the 2 feed lines going underneath the truck to the basically T-block that I mentioned. From there, now we are at the point where we are doing the T-block to the motor. So that's what we're working on now. I have the harnesses. Basically, I streamlined them. The only thing going back to the truck is the plugs themselves for the motor. Everything else basically runs up into the relay and the fuse, and basically all I have is my signal, my key on power for the pumps, and basically the power and ground. You hear that? Somebody out there with a bazooka horn. But everything else, like their factory pressure switch or whatever else they have in here for other accessories, I basically just chopped right out. Greg A deleted that shit right out of there. So basically, that's about it. That's what we're doing. The only thing, this is the pressure switch where I had the fuel pressure right before the Y going to the CP3s up here. What I want to do now is I want to put this big old contraption right down here. I know this is probably a terrible view for you guys, but that needs to go basically right here, and this has got the pressure sensor in it. So unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to extend these wires and get that sensor all the way down here, which not a big deal, just more time consuming. While farting around, we also managed to get the Big Dog Air Dog banner hung up in the shop because it was in my way, and I was like, you know what, we might as well just get this out of the way. But that is where we're at, guys. Now, I've kind of been over in another video, like I mentioned before, if you're doing AN lines, basically the tips and tricks on how to do that. Basically, push lock hose, not really a whole lot to go over. You really just push it on. The only thing that might help, especially if it's colder out, is one of these guys. Ooh, my finger just got hot. That pretty much will warm up the hose just a little bit, get it a little less stiff. As you can see now, that's pretty stiff. You're not going to be able to push it all the way on the fitting if you don't heat it up a little bit. So just a little bit of gas there. That'll do. See that? I banged my face good. You ever, boom. Yeah, with a wrench, So it's about 7 o'clock right now. As much as I would love to finish this beast, get it fired up, get it running, that was the goal. Some things, you know, just, it was Sunday. I got kind of lazy, I'm not gonna lie, you know. I went inside, hung out with the wife for a little bit, which you can't blame me. I mean, I'm with you guys all the time. She deserves at least a little bit of time, right? So 7 o'clock, I could get this done, but as far as use of my time, like I mentioned, if I don't get this grass cut, it's gonna cut into our weekly videos. So I think the smartest thing to do right now is to stop the work, go take care of adult things, more work to come on the first gen, button up all the loose ends, take it for a test drive, and work out the kinks. I mean, when you're doing something like this, you always got to account for kinks too as well. So, but do you remember what this garage used to look like with parts everywhere? See, this is what makes me happy. When the parts are on the trucks and not on the garage floor. That's what makes me happy. So, alright guys, anyway, that is going to wrap up this video. Make sure you guys hit that like button before you leave. Subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys tomorrow. See ya.